Hello, viewers. It's Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are you all? Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to jump on today. It's Sunday afternoon here in Australia and do a special reading for those that are impacted in the northwest of the US from the wildfires. I can't really do much in the way of predictions. We can look and see if the situation is going to ease. But I wanted to let you know that we are all thinking of you. I also wanted to repay the wonderful kindness and empathy, sympathy, and support that was shown to me and other Australians during our wildfires in December, January of this year. I can say that I understand what you're going through. We sat for months in just in the midst of this awful, horrendous environment. Although the fires were not threatening my home, we were sort of placed in the middle of all these wildfires. Every day it seemed like we were hearing that more and more people were in danger, more and more people were evacuated, more and more towns were razed to the ground, more and more heartache, more and more courage and bravery shown by our firefighters. More and more support also from the US and Canada, sending in their wonderful firefighters. And in fact, two firefighters from the US were lost their lives helping Australians fight their wildfires. So I wanted to let you know that I understand what it is that you're feeling. I recall those days getting up and feeling, when I wasn't struggling to breathe, because I'm actually an asthmatic, and what you hear in my chest is a legacy of those wildfires. In hindsight, if I should have got out of the area. We were just too long in the middle of this just thick smoky haze where you couldn't really see too far in front of you. However, having said that, it cast an eerie kind of shadow over the sun. It felt like Armageddon. It felt like Australia was. It felt like, logically we knew the world wasn't ending, but it had that sense of unreality, this must be what it feels like when Armageddon hits. It was that kind of uncertainty and fear that you're on edge all the time. So I just wanted to say that I'm hearing you. I'm remembering what it was like for us, and for those that were less fortunate than me, who were actually in those towns that were hit hardest by the wildfires. So this one's for you. This one's for you. Now, as I said, it's not the time for predictions. When will the rains come? Although that's what brought our fires eventually under control, was we had widespread rain. It's not the time for getting people's hopes up via tarot cards and clairvoyance, but I can pull on, will the situation ease in the near future? I think that's safe to look at. And then, will there be help forthcoming? I know that your Sideshow Don president has just in the last day or so come out and acknowledged the wildfires, despite is it 500,000 people evacuated from one particular state or area. Will there be help? I know that what I saw in our situation when our Prime Minister was holidaying in Hawaii at the worst of the carnage from the bushfires, there was just so much kindness shown to us that on the one hand it felt unreal and like very dark days, but on the other we saw this real pulling together and coming together, this community spirit, so much courage and bravery and generosity. So I hope that's what you're starting to see. So let's take a look at, and then we'll look at the wider picture. Is this a wake-up call? Are they listening? Because I know in Australia, pursuing fossil fuels yet again, it seems we've learnt nothing from the wildfires of December, January. But I think with a new administration, you're going to see more of an emphasis on not only on climate change initiatives, but also more leadership coming out of the US as well. So let's start with that first question. Is the situation easing for our friends in America, in the northwest part of America, hardest hit by these most devastating wildfires? First they were in Australia, then in the Amazon, in Brazil, and now these wildfires in the northwest of America. Will the situation ease, Spirit? Will the situation ease in the short term? Will the situation ease in the short term? Please show me what you can. Will the situation ease in the short term? All right, let's have a look and see what we can see. Temperance, a balance, a balancing coming into the situation. So that temperance, things balancing out. This is also an angelic card here. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot, which is a positive card. So hopefully a hopeful deck. So hopefully we can see that there might be this balance, water and fire being balanced, coming together, and some divine assistance. I felt that was the case for Australia when the rains came. I felt that was Spirit saying, we're here, I'm here. Okay, so balance, temperance is the key card. Challenged, of course, by the loss here. Eight of Cups is those that are turning their back, moving away, walking away from what they have to, what is too painful to stay. The Eight of Cups talks about loss, but there is still one cup left. Balance is being challenged by loss. Balance is being challenged by loss. So even if the situation was to ease in the next few weeks, there would still be this devastating loss. I can see the loss of home here, 10 of Wands. This is really when things are very hard to bear and people being evacuated. That is the foundation of this reading. Now, there must be a purpose for this, a spiritual aspect that we can look at and see why this is happening. Of course, we've got the global warming in the past. So when these cards appear and I'm channeling a thread of information, we see the lightning strikes. Now, most of the fires in Australia were caused by lightning strikes. There was maybe a very, very small percentage of deliberately lit. I'm hearing stories coming from America of fires that are being deliberately lit, but I also want to point to this fact that we have the earth warming and we have the lightning igniting these fires. This is really, I mean, whether you look at it spiritually or whether you want to look at it in black and white, we have the science that tells us that we've got climate change. Let's see what's in the sky. Okay, the Knight of Cups. I feel that there will be help for those that have lost everything. There will be these offers. This is in its strictest interpretation an offer of love. So like we saw in Australia, you will see in America this outpouring of generosity. I do feel there are going to be huge donations to funds from philanthropists, from celebrities, from millionaires, billionaires. There's going to be a huge donation to these funds that will help those that have nothing left. The immediate future, we have the Two of Pentacles, and it's going to be needed because the Two of Pentacles is walking a tightrope. And here we acknowledge in absolute compassion what has occurred in the midst of these wildfires, people losing homes, the loss of life. At a time when we have not only a worldwide pandemic, but such unstable, unsupportive leadership in America at the moment. The Queen of Swords. This is really a need to plan, not to focus on, I guess, there's a manipulative aspect to this card as well. So not to focus on the inevitable politicking from Donald Trump, but to focus on logic, planning, really to move into that energy of what needs to be done and when, and of course it's now. This is communities, but this is also, I feel, the Democratic Party in the House, this is my card for that, will move quite strongly to put a relief package or to drive forward some kind of help, particularly for those that have lost homes. The Eight of Swords, there is this restriction, the Eight of Swords. All of this has been made worse because we are in the middle of a pandemic. But this is restriction from fear. The way that we're going to move forward and overcome, and this is what worked in Australia, was listening to the experts, listening to the scientists, listening to your bushfire experts, listening to those in the community that are there to help, and looking for that relief coming from the Democratic Party. I feel there's going to be a very strong recovery plan put forward, almost taken out of the hands or bypassing this inevitable manipulation. Let's watch for that. The Two of Wands in the hopes and fears. We really haven't got time for patience. This is playing the waiting game, and this is what people are fearful of. If there is no help for a certain period of time, what are they going to do? Now, this is in the potential. This is in the sky, a potential future. I feel you're going to get an outpouring of generosity from those that can afford to give. We do have the King of Pentacles here, so businesses, big business in America are going to chip in. The Nine of Pentacles, absolutely big dollars. Big dollars are going to be put forward into these funds, this fundraising effort to help people who have lost their homes. We also have the Four of Pentacles. So this is a lot of insecurity around money as well. So the other side of this will be don't expect anything from the president. Sometimes the King of Pentacles, let me just move this back. The King of Pentacles can indicate Donald Trump, the businessman, and him living in the lap of luxury, while those who don't have that kind of power and wealth go without. There is that aspect, unfortunately, to this reading, that it starts to show the disparity yet again, between those that have nothing or have lost, and those that, it's a little bit like, it's a little bit like, looking inside the palace to Marie Antoinette in that era where you had this grotesque kind of spending of money while others are just doing it so tough. So we've got all of that here, but I asked, will the situation ease? I do feel there will be offers, and with this Nine of Pentacles, you could even get some kind of electioneering offer coming from Trump. There will be money there, but I do feel that the Democratic Party are going to move in some way to make sure those that are homeless have help, as well as philanthropists and those big business are going to start to really chip in and make sure that there is help there. But the message here with the sun in the past is around this global warming. So again, like in Australia, drawing our attention to the fact that not acting on climate change actually puts pressure on our economies. And so we must. It's like bringing us to the table to take action. At the base of the pack, we have death and rebirth. Number 13, death and rebirth. There have been lives lost. But we also will have this building back after loss. The King of Swords, King and Queen of Swords. Leadership, really strong leadership that have a plan to build back. So I do feel these governments that have the Hierophant card, the governments that where these wildfires are will come forward strongly with plans and strategies. There will be new starts. At the end of the day, I asked, will there be relief? 2 weeks, perhaps. I'm looking at that Two of Wands. Where are we now? Could even be 2 weeks. Could take us up to the end of the month even. But I don't want to put timelines on it. Tarot is notoriously difficult. There is help coming. There is relief coming. Okay. Let's move to, that kind of when will we learn? When will we ever learn? What will it take for us to learn? Are we going to see climate action in a new administration? Are we going to see climate change action in a new administration? When will we learn? Are we going to see action to tackle, mitigate global warming from a new administration? Will we see this? Will we see action from a new administration? Will we see action, climate change action from a new administration in the US? Will we see, too many cards there, but they're rather nice. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune, things shifting, turning, change is continuous, change is happening all around us, change is inevitable. That's what that Wheel of Fortune tells me. Things are shifting and changing. We have plans now in the subconscious. In the area or the realm where people are starting to consider what we need to do to mitigate climate natural disasters delivered by a changing climate. We have the High Priestess here. It is in the realm and being considered. It's not in reality yet, but we do have the King of Swords. So there's going to be, I do feel at some point in the future, a fairly major climate study because of what's happened in the US and in Australia. There is going to be a real push under a new administration to quantify what is actually going on with the climate and global warming at the moment, and to come up with these plans. The Green New Deal talks about some of that, but I see a lot of investigation and messages, information coming forward, plans and strategies coming forward to tackle global warming. Okay, so show me what is likely to emerge, which which may help this climate, natural disasters. What is likely to come up in the future to assist us, please? Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's huge, huge, huge planning and clarity and information gathering and putting those plans into practice. The High Priestess, two aces, the Ace of Pentacles. New starts. There's going to be money put to into some sort of initiative. First the research, next the funding. It's when I say it's in the realms of the subconscious at the moment. It's being brought through into reality. Some of what propels the subconscious ideas, innovation, which is still in the subconscious, what propels it into reality is investigation, ideas, and then communicating that. But I see funding there as well. And we have judgment. It is inevitable. Judgment is something that we can't hold back, that we can't not do. It is an inevitability. All right, let's see what's at the base of the pack. Strength and endurance. Like we had in Australia, you will see that happening in the US, this outpouring. Because of the sacrifices, because of, those that unfortunately have lost their lives, it's just going to get stronger in the next week or so, or in the next few days, because there will be revelations coming out. It's like we drop everything else and we look at exactly what's happened. We do have this, again, continual focus on I can't put it into words, how disappointing it is to have a leader like Sideshow Don at this time, who continually lies, who politicizes tragedy. He just puts more and more anxiety, the Nine of Swords anxiety, into the ether, into people's subconscious minds. It's why we get drawn toward the fear, because that's what his lies are designed to do. I do have the Page of Cups. There will be some sort of bombshell, and the Page of Swords, some kind of truth coming out. Is this around FEMA funding? Perhaps. But it's not the time nor the place to look at that. I want to pull some final messages from Spirit, to look at from the Good Tarot, for those specifically watching this who have been impacted by the fires. I want to pull some messages for you that hopefully will resonate, that hopefully will help. The earth is undergoing a cleansing. It's like it's shaking itself, and all of this is contributing to bringing forward new eras, new ways of doing things, where we won't have to go through this every summer, whether it be wildfires or hurricanes or floods, that are above and beyond what you would normally expect, that are clear indications that we need to do something about a changing climate, about global warming. So for the individual, please, as much as for the collective, strength, and using your intuition as well, because I'm seeing a Pisces symbol here. Don't lose your connection or faith at this time, your connection with Spirit or your faith. Don't swim in that sea of negativity. Hold fast, hold firm, and things will, even though they don't seem like they will, things will improve. Okay, final messages for my viewers who are impacted by the wildfires in America. Final messages, please, from Spirit. All right, let's have a look. The Six of Cups. Things will eventually, as they did in Australia, things will balance themselves out. The Six of Cups talks about when you feel like nothing will ever be the same again, like there will never be a reprieve, there will never be a time when, you're not feeling like this. This card comes forth to say that there will be a time when you will feel like you've recovered. The Six of Cups is going back to the past, getting back in touch with your higher self, with that optimistic higher self. The Four of Wands, the Four of Fire. This talks about, and here we have the balance as well. This talks about community support. This talks about reunification with family members that you may have lost touch with. There will be that and more, because this talks about a air of celebration when this reunification occurs. But you will also see this wonderful generosity from your communities. The Magician. The Magician card. We are beginning a new cycle. This is the number one in the major arcana. We are beginning to manifest again. So you are in manifestation energy. I'm going to put a link to a website and a mantra that it's a prosperity mantra that you can say to yourself. I won't talk about it here. I'll let the website do its explaining. There's no all you need to do is visit the website and say the mantra to yourself, and it is designed to manifest what you need at the time, to make that easier to manifest that. So I'll put all those links at the bottom of this video. Justice. Yeah, what has been taken away will be given back. And we have 11. And so for some of you who are, this was simply the last straw on top of a lot of heartbreak and disappointment, justice is coming. Justice is coming. Justice is coming. And the Eight of Swords again. This is always a difficult message to give, because what this says is, even though you're feeling fearful and frightened and worried and, sleepless nights and on edge, at any second, at any moment of any day, you can make a choice to step outside of that fear and into this manifesting energy. Take your time. Take your time. I know how hard it is when you've been hit by natural disasters. Believe it or not, after going through the bushfires in Australia, just recently my local area was flooded. So, and we're actually talking with insurance. We have insurance, thankfully, at the moment. I know how hard it is to recover from travesty, from setbacks, major setbacks. But you can always step into this manifestation energy. What's the alternative? That's the way I like to look at it. I can either sit in worry or I can sit in manifestation energy. I can start to at least inch my way toward a better future. So take your time. Take your time. What has been taken away will be given back. One more card, please, Spirit. The Page of Earth. As you see the earth recovering, as you see those signs of recovery within the earth, you will start to recover also. So watch for those signs in the landscape that has been scarred and blackened now. Watch for those signs of recovery because they are coming. They are coming. All right, at the base of the pack, I acknowledge the worry, the 9 of air. I acknowledge the worry, the fear. Patience, number 14. And the 7 of fire. The 7 of fire. Stand your ground. Be strong and watch for those signs of recovery. And know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. Okay, I'll leave that there. If any of my viewers have links to fundraising sites, I'm not in the US, please post them, reputable ones. Please post them, and we'll be able to, any of my viewers who are directly affected can start to sit in that energy of being helped, of being supported, of those lending their strength to you at this time. So I want to thank everybody who supported me and Australia during our wildfires, our devastating wildfires, and know that we are here for you as well. Thank you, and please stay safe, everyone.